Trying to fix my chair. Okay. Hello, everybody. How you doing? It is Wednesday, hump day. I hope you're doing very well. We got so much to cover, y'all. Every day, Donald Trump is a flop. Every day, Donald Trump and his cabinet are just going rapid. They're tyrants, and they don't care about the American people. They don't care about on the first, you will not have any food. They don't care about that. They don't really care about us. Like Michael Jackson said, he tried to tell the American people they don't really care about us. He sure did. Hello, everybody. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Hit that like button as you come in. Yes, hit the like button as you come in. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Yes. In my description is my Venmo and my PayPal link. So if you're feeling jolly and you want to support me and show me that you really want to donate to my channel, there's my Venmo, my PayPal link in the description as well. Again, you can send me super chats and super stickers. I have memberships, two different kinds of memberships. I have the Rubies membership for $4.99, and I have the Diamonds membership for $9.99. The members get things that the regular viewers and subscribers would never see. The people in the bushes would never see. So get your membership. Start with the cheapest one, $4.99. You can't beat it. Again, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. What are we covering today, y'all? Donald Trump. We're going to listen to a representative, Democrat from Tennessee. He's going to slam the GOP colleagues. Sean Duffy brags about cutting hundreds and millions of dollars of funding from blue states. Right now, what the MAGA Republicans are doing, they're blaming the blue states for the shutdown. No, it is not the Democrats. They're not over the Senate, nor the House, nor the White House. No, it is the MAGA Republicans. Also, we're going to hear different things about every time Black people get in the game, they change the rules. We'll discuss that a little later. I like to give a little history here and there if I can remember to do it. Trump admits he cannot run for a third term for the first time, but he'll still try. We can't trust him. Let me tell you something about the devil. Satan will come at you from the back when you're not even looking. So be very vigilant. Be on the alert for the MAGAs, because they Satan's children. They the spawn of Satan. So be on the alert, please. All right. And we're going to also see something about how Trump's family has grifted America so much that is $1,802,604,130 of grifting. Really more than that, I believe. Hello, King Allen. How you doing? Government shuts down is thank you. He even said it himself. That's why I need to play that. Hold on. Let me take a sip of water. Hello, everybody. If you're just coming in, hit the like button, please. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Let me find that video because I really want people to understand. Donald Trump even said this himself, that the president is responsible for the shutdown. But now it's his turn. Oh, no, it's the Dems. It's the blue states' fault. Hold on.
Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed if there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it was a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. In my opinion, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed if there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it was a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. In my opinion, I hear the
Eat
Democrats.
your words, Danny boy. Hey, then why are you and Mike Johnson saying that it is the Democrats' fault? Remember, a while back, you made that statement, Donald Trump. Own it. Okay? One moment, please. So we're going to take a listen to what Representative Steve Cohen, he's a Democrat from Tennessee. He slammed the GOP colleagues. Hold on, okay?
Why do you think Speaker Johnson is so adamant about not swearing in Adelita Grijalva?
She'd be the 218th vote signature on the discharge petition to have the files that we have on Jeffrey Epstein's misdeeds, crimes, released to the public. This is the largest sex slavery ring that we know of in history. And there are a lot of Americans involved in it who had sex with minors. That's called rape. The statute of limitations has not expired because there is no statute of limitations. And the public wants to know, and the criminal justice authority should know, who was engaged in those rapes and that illegal behavior. Yet, Speaker Johnson is not opening the House because he doesn't want that 218th signature. And basically, he is protecting sexual predators, child sexual predators, for the benefit of billionaires. Because the whole big, beautiful bill that hurt the payment of health premiums and hurt SNAP payments was for the big, beautiful billionaires. That's who the money went to, and they had to cut some money out. So they cut out poor people who need nutrition and who need health care.
I guess I got a personal level. How does it feel like to come to work every day with so many grown adults who are hell-bent on protecting pedophiles?
It's hard to believe. It's just so unrealistic that I guess the public can't get their hands around it. But so much of the public does want this released, so they know that there's something in there that needs to come out. And people, Democrat and Republican both, are against pedophiles. To protect and hide pedophiles is the worst thing that a speaker or a representative can do, and the Republicans are doing that now.
Thank you, guys.
Mike Johnson, why are you protecting pedos? What does Donnie have on you? Because if me, not anyone else, I would not stand for it. I will release those files because it will bother my spirit so bad to protect people that have hurt our youth. Mike Johnson, you have children. Now, if it happened to your children, you'll be mad. Oh, yes, you would. But what I learned about mediocre white men, it's all about the money, money, money. It's all about that. They don't have a care in the world for anybody else. But let it be their babies. They're going to care, y'all. It's going to bother their soul. They're going to turn all around, upside down, cut flips, and want to sue everybody, even people that don't have anything to do with it. But it's not their children, so they don't care. And it's always about fat in the pockets. It's not a care in the world for Donald Trump by anybody else but him, the orange man, protecting himself. All the Republicans are protecting predators. Let's take a listen to what Sean Duffy did.
Duffy went on Fox News and bragged about the fact that he's planning on cutting hundreds of millions of dollars from blue states. Not because of corruption or mismanagement, of course, but because they're doing stuff the Trump administration doesn't like. In this first clip, he's talking about New York. Then in the other ones, he's talking about California. Take a look at this.
Back and forth with them, but if they don't continue to up their game and make the subway safer, we will pull it out.
One guy decided, and you were withholding funds from California.
So yeah, we started off, we withheld $40 million because they weren't enforcing the English proficiency requirements. You got to speak English. And they're issuing the licenses against the law. And so I'm going to pull another $160 million.
Really?
Gavin, yes. And by the way, that's just the start. There's millions more.
This is authoritarianism, plain and simple. They're using taxpayer funds to punish states that do things they don't like. Federal funds come from all Americans, not from the ruling party's campaign chest. The idea that any public official would threaten to withhold essential resources from a state because of a political disagreement should terrify everyone. And let's just be honest with ourselves. Blue states like New York and California send far more money to Washington than they ever get back. These states are literally the ones that are funding the federal programs that red states rely on to survive. If the GOP wants to start playing games with tax money, then maybe it's time we start asking ourselves, why are the blue states continuously subsidizing the states that constantly take more than they give? Just imagine the outrage if a Democratic president said they were going to take federal funding away from a red state because they opposed firearm safety laws or school funding. Sean Duffy went on Fox News and
Crinkle punta. Really? Sean Duffy. Everybody need to speak English. Well, you better tell Melania Trump that. Everybody needs to speak English. Melania Trump cannot speak English very well. And they teach you in school to take French, Spanish, and another language. It helps you grow. What you say, Alan? Alan, you laughing about it. It helps you to grow as an individual. What happened to my life? It has stopped. Now my views are going down because every time they trip my live, it does that. But anyway, everybody, it's okay to know other languages. He said in California, oh, they need to know English. We can't help that your brain could not calculate learning another language. Spanish is the second language in this country. God, I can't wait to remove all them Republicans out of office. They want to dumb down America. They want the Americans to be dumb. But I bet you they know other languages. If they don't, that's their fault. A gringo is just stupid. Gringo es punta. Yeah. Blanco is something else. And it doesn't refer to all white men because there's some beautiful white men in this country. But those MAGA Republican men, What you say, how did love win, Alan? 2024 is over. It's sickening to say, why are they speaking other languages? You're in America. Oh, yeah, we're in America. They teach you other languages in school. That's a beautiful thing about school. I'm gonna move along, y'all. I'm just baffled how they don't want us to grow. And see, white people not gonna realize they're trying to dumb all of us down. Y'all gonna think, well, we just don't want Spanish people here. It's something bigger going on. Because he really has a problem with people speaking other language. But you don't have a problem with Russian people, white Russian people speaking other languages. No. You just got a problem with brown people. One moment, please.
Some news right now. Donald Trump woke up and for the first time admitted that he cannot run for a third term in office. These words will almost certainly be used against him if he does decide to do anything, but he admitted in his East Asia swing that it's pretty clear. Quote, "It's pretty clear I can't run. It's unfortunate." He seemed unhappy with the fact that he couldn't run for a third term. This comes after Mike Johnson spoke to him, the Speaker of the House spoke to the president about it. And it also comes as Steve Bannon says that it's pretty clear he will get a third term, but Trump himself admits that he can't do that. And while the 22nd Amendment is clear, presidents can only serve 2 terms. Now, that hasn't stopped Trump from mulling about possible variations to the 22nd Amendment to try to serve as VP, etc. But now he himself admits he can't serve a third term. We'll see if he changes his mind in a couple weeks, if he backtracks on this. In any event, that's it right now. So spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news that you need to know about. More to come very soon. We have some news right now. Donald Trump woke up and for the first time admitted that he cannot run.
Y'all, I'm telling y'all, even though they know that, they're going to pull a stunt. The MAGA Republican Party, Donald Trump, are dangerous. We're not in good hands with them. We're just not. And let's not fool ourselves. And I really want my beautiful white people to realize at this point, it's just not black and brown people in trouble. We're all in trouble. Please hear me out. We are all in trouble. I showed you a video yesterday. I slammed this white man to the ground and they was beating on him. We're all in trouble. We are in frightening, scary times. One moment, please.
Everything happening right now, I felt like this is a good time to remind everyone that this is the amount of money that Trump and his family has accepted in cash and gifts since the 2025 election alone. They have increased their net worth by $7.5 billion. With everything happening right now, I felt like this is a good time to remind everyone that this is the amount of money that Trump and his family has accepted in cash and gifts since the 2025 election alone. They have increased their net worth by $7.5 billion. With everything happening right now, I felt like this is a good time to remind everyone that.
And let MAGA tell it, he's not getting paid. He's not making any money. Honey, he in there grifting big time. Cash and gifts. The plane from Qatar, which will cost us a couple billion to fix it to be fit for a fake king. One moment, please. More Mike Johnson. Magic Mike.
That's news right now. Mike Johnson is shutting down the idea of bringing back the House of Representatives to potentially reopen the government, saying, quote, "What's the point?" Calling it a, quote, "futile exercise to bring the House of Representatives back into session. Meanwhile, the House hasn't been in session since September 19th. Since the beginning of June, the House has only been in session for 20 days and 4 months. And so members are earning $174,000 per year. Their staff, they're not being paid. They actually missed their first paycheck today. And well, Mike Johnson is saying, what's the point of bringing folks back to DC to negotiate and reopen the government? He wants to keep pressing on with this Republican CR and is kind of saying his way or the highway, there's no other choice. Democrats, on the other hand, are saying, well, Mike Johnson, let's get it together, bring us back to DC. Let's negotiate a solution. He doesn't want to do that. And so we're kind of stuck in this quagmire once again. Spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about. We have some news right now, Mike.
Please subscribe to Aaron Partners. Everything I show is fair use, great for educational purposes, great entertainment, and great research. And we're doing research, baby. That's what we're doing over here. And I throw a little comedy in there so we can have a good old time over here. Yeah. Hit the like button, please.
Administration has gone on a $2 billion spending spree while the government's been shut down.
President Trump announcing plans to build the 90,000 square foot ballroom.
Has bought 2 Gulfstream private jets for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
President Trump is demanding a $230 million payment from American taxpayers as a settlement for the prior special counsel investigations against him.
Here's what everyone who pays taxes, so you, me, undocumented workers, grandparents on their Social Security fixed income, currently subsidizing while kids go hungry in the essential workers are doing their job. Part of the White House and build a golden ballroom. Now, one of the first things people who defend projects say is that the price tag doesn't matter because it's privately funded. But that's not entirely accurate. I was going through court documents on these contributions, and it turns out they're considered donations to the Trust for the National Mall, a tax-exempt nonprofit. Which means that when Google, for example, donates $22 million, they get to write it off as a charitable contribution, so they'll make it back when they're doing their taxes. Trump's also donated a bunch of his own money to the ballroom, essentially using tax breaks to pay himself to build himself a ballroom. And speaking of paying himself, the president is also in the process of having the government reimburse him for $230 million worth of legal fees. As you may recall, between terms, Trump was charged with a number of crimes, one of which he actually went to trial where he was found guilty and convicted of. He has since asked the Department of Justice, which is run by 2 of his personal attorneys, one of which was his criminal lawyer for the case who's convicted him, to pay him back. If they approve this request, which is almost guaranteed, Trump said that he himself will then sign off on the $230 million tax.
Trump has some nerve to want us to pay him.
$172 million is being used to buy DHS Secretary Kristi Noem 2 lightly used private jets that are only worth about $80 million each brand new. The approved budget from earlier this year only allotted $50 million to replace 1 old jet. But the G700 is the same jet Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos use, so she had to have that one. But really, she had to have 2, because, I mean, come on, you can't just have 1 jet. Those are on the low end for jet-related expenditures during the shutdown. Another $1 billion is going to upgrade Trump's personal private jet that was given to him by the Qatari government. And this one is his. He gets to take it with him when he leaves office. The president has also brought in his gold guy to glam out the White House. We don't know how much that has cost yet, but we can do some napkin math to get an idea. He's using 24-karat gold to make the frames for the 20 portraits now hanging in the Oval Office, and for smaller portraits of each president in his newly created Presidential Wall of Fame. Based on the current markets, gold goes for about $4,000 an ounce, and frames for those sizes weigh about 5 to 10 pounds each. So on those frames alone, we're looking at about $1.5 million. He did say he was paying for the gold himself, but he says a lot of things. Then there's another $2 million to turn the Rose Garden into a private club, $40 million to build a Mount Rushmore-esque Garden of Heroes somewhere, and undeclared millions more for a rush order monumental arch Trump said he wants to build for himself for America's 250th birthday next July. And of course, the little things, like $60,000 that went to putting up these gigantic propaganda-style posters of his face on federal buildings before he had the government shut down. In fairness, it's not as if the shutdown was seen as a financial opportunity per se. The Trump administration has been writing itself blank checks all year. $30 million was spent on Trump's birthday party, $240 million went to his inauguration party, and $50 million has gone to promoting ISIS's efforts to kidnap children, abduct adults, and build and fill concentration camps. The Trump administration is on a $2 billion.
I'm going to tell you something so funny. He has Abraham Lincoln up there with him. I want y'all to do your real research on who Abraham Lincoln was. You saw Donnie had his big drop than Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is a mixed man. He's white and black. Donnie, see, that lets you know Donald Trump is not smart, because if he knew the true history of Abraham Lincoln, he wouldn't have it up there, because he don't like black people. You see, he removed President Barack Obama and the Martin Luther King stone head thing, what you call that? He moved that. You don't see that anywhere around. He want anyone to see anybody black anywhere in that White House anymore. Donald Trump, Abraham Lincoln is a mixed man. You better hope that your son and his lover don't adopt black children. Because let me tell you something, if it's true about the alleged rumors that he is DL, gay men, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love the idea of them doing this. They adopt a lot of black children. Where I live at, the community where I live, it's 2 white guys adopted beautiful black children. They want to give them the opportunity they may not have any other way, because it's a blessing to take in children and love them. Oh, Donnie. Abraham Lincoln is a mixed man, Donald. I remember growing up at my daddy's family reunion. My dad is a dark-skinned man, though. But when we go to the family reunions, it was white people all at the family reunion. Abraham Lincoln is a mixed man. Poor Donnie. Maybe you should have put, what's his name? Oh, God. The criminal president that he's trying to be like almost. What is his name? My brain has frozen right now. You should have put his drop up, Donnie. Donald Trump is a funny man, y'all. Do your history. Learn your true history. I told y'all the other day, a lot of the books in school lied to us. Jesus be offense. See, this is the thing. We all come from the color black, whether we black, white, brown, purple, green. We really all the same people. You better listen to Jane when she tell us that. I think it's Jane Sullivan when she speaks. White woman, powerful white woman. I love her. Google her. Elliott is Jane Elliott. That's who it is. That's who it is. Hello, King R. Jizzle. Hello, my beautiful King Alan. Hello, Boarded. Anyway, I'm going to continue. Hit the like button, please. Come on.
So who's really on SNAP? You know, food stamps. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Well, whatever you're thinking, you might be wrong. 42 million Americans could lose their grocery money on this Friday. Now, think about it this way. There's 348 million Americans, and about 42 million Americans are on SNAP, and that's about 12% of our population. About 1 in 8 Americans use SNAP benefits. Let's take a look at who they are. 40% of people on SNAP are children. 16 million kids rely on SNAP. 1.2 million veterans rely on SNAP. And here's something that's interesting. 22,000 active duty military families rely on SNAP. Yes, people actually serving our country rely on food stamps. 1.5 million college students are on SNAP, and 8 million seniors rely on SNAP to help them make ends meet. Now, you may have heard that people have said that illegal immigrants are using SNAP. That's not true. However, 1.5 million legal immigrants, like long-term green card holders, are on SNAP. Rules were changed in July, so people who are refugees or asylum seekers, they can't access SNAP anymore. And here's the kicker. About a third of SNAP households have someone who is working a job. They just aren't making enough money to make ends meet. How much do they get? Well, the average SNAP benefit is $188 a month. That means they have $6 a day for groceries. So this isn't getting cut because there's no money. There's a $6 billion emergency fund the government could use, but the Trump administration and the Republicans are against it. So when this hits on Friday, 42 million people, 1 in 8 Americans, children, veterans, seniors, active military families, will lose a safety net. And for some, it could be a lifeline. Food banks have already said they can't handle what's going to happen. In fact, no one can. Oh, you might be wondering, how much of our federal budget goes to SNAP? Well, it's only about 1.5% of the entire budget. That means $288 a year Americans pay to support people who need SNAP. So, do you know someone who is on SNAP? Are you on SNAP? Can you share your story? And do you think $288 a year is too much for us to be paying to support children, seniors, veterans, and active military families? Leave your comments below. And follow me. I'm Sue O'Connell. I'm a commentator, and you can watch me on NBC10Boston.com and YouTube.com/NBC10Boston.
Subscribe to Sue O'Connor on YouTube, please. She's a commentator as well. I'm going to show y'all this chart about who's on SNAP. Hold on. Let me take a sip of water, please. How y'all doing today? Hit the like button, please. Hello, King Brett. I'm going to show y'all this chart so we can get a better understanding why we need SNAP for people and who is on SNAP from what culture. So I'm going to show you this, then I'm going to read it to you. The top of the chart, there are more white people that get food stamps, total food stamps by ethnicity. Look, there is more white people than anybody on food stamps. Okay, my beautiful kings and queens, take note. Take notes for me, okay? I love you. White people, 7,472,711. Black people, 3,964,406. Mexicans, very low. The brown people is very low. Okay, 1,909,347. German people here, 1,307,783. Irish people here in America, 1,134,445 food stamps. So do I need to tell you again who get more food stamps? It's a list. Let me tell you how many different ethnicities they broke it down into. 1, 2, 3. About 35 ethnicities that they have here, that the total food stamps. And white people receive more food stamps than anybody. White people receive, and it's not being judgmental, but y'all come in my chat, y'all call me a welfare queen. I don't get any free government help. None. I wish I could get food stamps. Yes, that would be a blessing because I wouldn't have to pay for my food, but I pay for my own food. So stop coming here calling me a welfare queen. You sound stupid. Okay. Total food stamps by ethnicity. The total number of U.S. households receiving SNAP benefits are, for our beautiful white people, 7,472,711. Black people, 3,965,406. So can we be kind and stop saying black people nothing but food stamp bandits and what y'all call me on here? Y'all call me so many things because I'm a black female. It's ridiculous. Be kind. Love goes further. Hello, King George. I love you. How you doing? Well, I'm not looking for anything free, George. It's just the point that they call me welfare queen, and I don't get any benefits. None. No, not one government benefit. And I'm not looking for anything for free. But if I could get food stamps, I would love it. I'm not going to tell you no lie, honey, because food is so expensive. But I just wanted to let y'all know about that. Statistically, since the inception of welfare, white people have been the highest recipients. Yep. Yes, sir. Okay, let's get back to business. How y'all doing today? Hit that like button for me. Come on, kings and queens, hit the like button. I love you guys. We're going to get back to business.
Administration is quietly changing a major rule through the Department of Homeland Security. This will devastate thousands of legal immigrant workers across the entire country. Take a look at this. So they're removing the automatic extension of employment authorization documents. This is for people who have already been approved and are just waiting for renewals. Here's a little more context from the immigration attorney himself. He says, you should know that USCIS only permits people to apply for work permit renewals 6 months before they expire. Yet the average processing time for some types of work permits is higher than 6 months, as you can see here. And just to emphasize, every single person who is impacted by this rule has already gone through a background check process, and the government has already determined that they are eligible for a work permit. This only applies to renewals. So in other words, they are deliberately going after legal immigrants now just to get their deportations per day quota increased. All this rule does is punish legal immigrants for government delays that are completely out of their control. Before 2016, this wasn't a big deal because workers could get interim permits if the delays were extensive. Under Obama, that was an automatic 180-day extension, but under Trump's new rule, 0. That means if the government wanted to, they could easily withhold renewals past 6 months and then make all of these legal immigrants automatically become illegal. The Trump administration is quietly changing a major rule.
Trump is trying to turn back the hands of time, and he wants to erase history. He wants to erase black and brown people. I wish he could do a DNA test and they tell me he has African in him. That would just make my day. It would.
Flat out lied on a world stage. Just so you guys know, he not just exaggerates or inflates things, but he lies just to make himself look good and to make the United States of America look good under his leadership.
Because when all of these factories that are moving in, the car plants are moving in. Yesterday I was with Mr. Toyota in Japan, and he's just announced he's going to spend, they are going to spend $10 billion, and they're going to build new car plants, and they're going to build them.
No, they're not.
In numerous states, about 6 or 7 different states.
Lies.
And we're bringing our car industry back.
Every single article says Toyota denies promising to invest $10 billion to the U.S. after Trump's announcement. Yeah, Toyota was like, hold up, we didn't promise that. They literally told The Guardian and Reuters. Dude's losing it because what he's referring to was back in 2017, 8 years ago, when Toyota did pledge to invest that amount within 5-year span. It ended in 2022. So he dusted off an old press release so the American people can say, see, we're doing so good under President Trump's second term. This man just can't help himself. Always exaggerating, always inflating, and always lying. Toyota's actual words were, we'll continue to invest in the U.S. as a long-term plan. But saying that they promised $10 more billion across 6 or 7 states is super misleading. It's a lie. He flat out
Donald Trump is a compulsive liar. I've told y'all this numerous times. He lies about everything. And I just hope that didn't rub off on Byron Trump. I just hope it hasn't. Hello, Phoenix. How you doing? Okay, let's take a listen to how people are feeling about their assistance being turned off, not receiving their EBT November the 1st.
Finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month. About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depths that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, were going to go without meals so their children don't have to. I know that I will absolutely be one of those mothers.
But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money,
I'm so tired of seeing people say, like, oh, well, maybe if you had a job, you could get your groceries, or, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to depend on stamps. I work full time. Thank you. And I do rely on stamps because guess what? It's not enough money in this economy for me to be able to pay bills and get stuff that we need and provide for my 2 kids. So, yes, I depend on stamps. And I have a full-time job. So please know that people out here depend on stamps. It's not because we out here just mooching off the government. It's because we literally need that to provide for our family.
I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day, but still.
This is America's reality.
I just finally got confirmation that
I'm going to say something because I read some comments in my chat. We shouldn't judge nobody. I know some of y'all said, well, I work. I ain't got to worry about that. You never know what's going to happen in your life. Like that lady eating that piece of toast, all on social media talking smack about the people on food stamps. I don't get food stamps, but you won't hear me judging them because I wish I could. Because every time I go in the grocery store, the food is so expensive. It's just going higher and higher, the prices. Don't judge those people. You never know, because that lady lost her job on TikTok, bumping her gums about people that's on food stamps, eating a piece of dry toast, because I hate to say it, yeah, too many of y'all can't cook. But anyway, on TikTok, bumping her gums. And it was so ugly what she said that she lost her job because somebody reported her video to her job. Be careful talking about God's children. You never know what'll happen to you. So when you sitting in my chat judging people that's on government assistance, the military, the people that protect us, they get food stamps. So why would you judge? Judge not and be of understanding of God, not your understanding. Because when you put your life in your own hands and don't trust God, you're in trouble. Always remember the devil's a liar. Victory comes from God. One moment, please.
Well. So apparently Daddy's talking to dead people again, honey. His sixth sense has kicked in because he said to a whole bunch of South Koreans yesterday that he spoke with Mr. Toyota. Baby, he said to South Korean people that he spoke with the founder of Toyota, Mr. Toyota. Honey, Mr. Toyota died a long time ago. Mr. Toyota was born in the 1800s, dear. Mr. Toyota is long and gone. That's not to say his family's not still around and their last name
I'm sorry, y'all.
But they actually don't even own Toyota anymore, dear. They have a minimal amount of influence over Toyota as being part of their family. But Toyota is a publicly traded company. It has shareholders and many investors. It's not just one person in charge, dear. It's a whole room full of folks that are in charge. One of them just so happens to be Napon Bank. The Napon Steel, Napon Bank, all the same investors. But either way, according to Daddy jdvance, he talked to Mr. Toyota yesterday. I think he was talking to a toy Yoda doll. I don't know who the fuck he was talking to. Was you talking to Lillie too? Did you have him on a conference call? Y'all remember Daddy said he spoke with Lillie about the auto industry. Anyway, and Daddy's having his phone calls with dead folks, apparently. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Toyota, the company, done clapped back to his orange ass and said, nope, we didn't discuss anything about investing $10 billion into the US of A. We don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Poor daddy. Bless his heart. There's something else he said I want to talk about too. He got up there and told the South Korean people, and I tell you this all the time, a con man will tell you part of the truth in order to sell you the lie. And he told the South Korean people that he lifted, and that's the word he used, lifted 600,000 Americans off of food assistance since his inauguration day. Correction. Daddy Dumpy Pants lifted food benefits away from 40 million Americans, dear. Not 600,000, but where did that 600,000 number come from? Well, it came from something that happened before he was in the White House, dear. It came from the 600,000 individuals who came off of food assistance after the food apocalypse because they no longer qualified for it and no longer needed it, dear. So there's that. There's always a little bit of truth in the brew. If you listen real close, you'll find it, boo. And the truth is that 600,000 Americans immediately came off of food benefits after the apocalypse because they no longer qualified. They no longer needed it. They basically did not reapply. So instantly the number 600,000 was counted as people coming off of food stamps because they did not reapply. And that happened way before the orange guy. Bless his heart. But yes, he has lifted food assistance away from 40 million people. Lifted as in 5-finger fucking discount, stolen, basically. Because that money's there for people to eat. But he's refusing to release that money. And if you're still a red hat out here today that believes that the Democrat is why you don't have access to your EBT, I just want you to remember all the times in your life history that the government was shut down, but you still got your EBT. You just remember that, baby. They do it to us every time there's a shutdown at play. They scare the American people and they think you're not going to be able to eat. They're going to take your Social Security away and all of that. You're not going to get your check on the 1st or the 3rd. You're not going to get your food assistance because the shutdown play. And I know about getting SSI. And every single time there's a shutdown, well, they try to make me think that I wasn't going to get my SSI check. Put me in despair. But every month on the 1st, it showed up there, even during a shutdown. Daddy could release those funds. The GOP can release that money. But instead, they've decided to lift it.
Be sure to subscribe to Christina Talk, please. She's on Instagram. Follow her. She has TikTok and she has YouTube. Christina Talks T. That's the letter T, not TEA. The letter T, okay? How y'all doing today? One moment. Trump started speaking pure gibberish in South Korea. Something is very wrong. In my opinion, Trump cannot possibly be well. Let's take a listen.
Trump's mental decline is once again on full display, this time in South Korea. Out of absolutely nowhere, starts talking about the Prime Minister of India, saying he's a great-looking guy and would like to have your father, whatever that's supposed to be. Just take a look at this.
Prime Minister Modi is the nicest looking guy. He says, oh, he looks like you'd like to have your father. Like, he's a killer. He's tough as hell.
Donald Trump is DL in my opinion.
I said, whoa, is this the same man that I know?
I mean, that was pure gibberish. There's no coherent thought, no context, and no point being made. That's the kind of incoherent rambling that leaves you wondering if he even remembered what the Senate started with. When somebody in a position of power speaks this way, especially on the global stage, it's not just embarrassing, but it's also alarming. We've seen him get progressively worse over the past couple of months. It's very obvious there is something wrong. And I'd like to bring up a point that this journalist made about Trump's MRI scans. Trump is 6 months from his last physical and last MRI. He is 3 months from his disappearance on Labor Day. 6 months MRIs are used to monitor severe progressions of Alzheimer's or vascular dementia. 3-month follow-ups are used after a stroke. No non-serious conditions require anyone to get a 6-month MRI. He mentions the president's currently disclosed conditions do not merit a 6-month MRI. So the question is, did he have a stroke, dementia, or Alzheimer's? After hearing his recent speeches, it's very obvious there is something wrong with
Something's wrong with Donald Trump. More than just old age. He's senile. He may have frontal dementia like his father had. In my opinion, I believe he's schizophrenic. Did you not hear him talking about the Indian man? It's sickening. And in my opinion, Trump is not easing the shutdown pain. He's inflicting it. Donald Trump is inflicting pain on us American people. As you guys are coming in, please hit that like button, please. Come on, hit the like button, beautiful kings and queens. I love you guys. I'm so embarrassed for our country right now. And so take a listen. She's going to tell you exactly why all of us should be embarrassed.
For your information, that is nothing to brag about.
My attorneys have done incredible work advancing President Trump's agenda and protecting the executive branch from judicial overreach. We've been sued more than 400 times since January 20th. Judges have issued more than 90 temporary restraining orders against us, more than the previous several administrations combined.
You do realize that being sued over 400 times in 9 months isn't a sign of efficiency. That's a sign that you're probably doing something very wrong. Did you hear the sigh at the end? So many lawsuits. It must be tiring constantly defending a government that keeps pushing the limits of legality. And just so we're clear, having over 400 lawsuits and over 90 restraining orders from federal judges isn't normal. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the highest number any administration has faced this early on. That usually means the courts thinks something's off with what you're doing. What is it that people don't get? Pam, for your information, that is nothing to brag about.
My attorneys have done incredible.
If I was Pam Bundy, I wouldn't even let those words come out of my mouth. That's embarrassing. This queen is right. It's nothing to brag about. It's embarrassing to our country to have a nincompoop sitting in the Oval Office. It's embarrassing. Trump uses the Oval Office to enrich himself, his own selfish gain.
Like authoritarians in the past, President Trump doesn't want you to know about his illegal actions. So he's covering them up by undermining independent oversight at every single turn. He blatantly uses the office of the president to promote the sale of his own meme coins. He accepts large investments and gifts from foreign governments without regard for national security concerns or federal ethics laws. Meanwhile, his family and friends peddle influence and make deals to enrich themselves and the president. What have all these efforts to enrich himself add up to? It's no surprise that his net worth has risen by $3 billion in the past year.
Donald Trump pimped out the White House, not just physically with all that ghetto-looking 24-karat gold everywhere, but he grifted our country so much, he just pimped it all out. Right now, foreigners own a lot of our land. They had even given land to, who was it they gave land to? Qatar. And I think it was, what was the state? I can't remember the state. Donald Trump has done nothing but pimped out America. But to the highest bidder. That's what he has done. So let's take a listen to what these oldies goldies have to say. And this is, I'm give credit to Don Lemon for this video.
Think about the East Wing.
What East Wing? There is none. What Rose Garden? There is none. What whorehouse? Oh, sorry, that's the Oval Office.
What do you think about the East Wing being demolished for a giant ballroom?
When you got no balls, you build a room.
A ballroom.
A ballroom. So they got one. 90,000 square feet.
He's
and now it's bigger than the White House.
He's just doing whatever comes into his mind, and he doesn't care what anybody says, because in June or July of 2024, the Supreme Court said he could do anything he wanted, and he couldn't be criminally charged.
What do you think about the East Wing?
What East Wing?
See, old people just tell you the truth. They don't care. And you better respect them. Ballroom? Yeah, he has no balls. Grandma was right.
And proudly declared his support for Trump in 2024, saying that Biden is a tyrant and that we need to take our country back. But now, at the age of 70, he's on the verge of going homeless because of Trump's policies. Take a look at this. In 2024, he says, "We the people are getting screwed by this corrupt, tyrannical Democratic administration. It's time to vote for Trump to take our government back." Maybe you should watch one of his full rallies on Rumble. Then you would know his plans. You have nothing but lies, like Biden. Biden promised an increase for Social Security. We got nothing. I'm voting for Trump. See ya. But now he says, "President Trump, I voted for you. Do you realize that 1 pound of ground beef costs more than the average federal wage? Now this government has canceled SNAP benefits and Section 8 for people that depend on these benefits. Happy Thanksgiving. Not. Everything is way overpriced. I voted for you to make this country great. Instead, we can't afford to live a normal life anymore. Either fix this problem or face a revolutionary war, or we overthrow this government. We're sick of losing our rights and going broke from this government greed and corruption." I'm right with you, buddy. I voted for Trump, but he's not helping us that need it the most. I will be homeless soon at 70 years old. Very interesting. It's almost like the billionaires don't actually care about the American people whatsoever. How surprising. This is what happens when people vote against their own self-interest. Republicans have been doing this for decades. They've been convinced that slogans and fear-mongering will somehow lead to economic success, but as we're seeing, that is not the case. This man is now realizing the very same policies he was cheering for have now put him on the verge of going homeless. This man proudly declared his support for Trump in 2024.
It's so embarrassing that people listen to Donald Trump and they voted for him thinking he's going to do more for them than President Joe Biden, when President Joe Biden was a blessing to so many. And now y'all want to complain. You voted for this. Eat that high-dollar hamburger meat. See, I don't eat hamburger meat, so I don't have that problem. Eat it. UPS is laying off again. Trump sure is making America great, huh?
Springs-based UPS is making more cuts, announcing another 14,000 job layoffs by the end of the year, bringing the total now to 48,000 positions eliminated this year. The company is undergoing a significant strategic shift that they say is aimed at long-term growth. The company says it's ready to focus on delivering a strong holiday shipping season. Sandy Springs-based UPS is making more cuts, announcing another 14,000
Sandy Springs is here in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. I even experienced something where I haven't been receiving my packages through UPS. And I kind of found out they're doing a lot of laying off, and a lot of people are not receiving their packages. And this explains a lot. UPS, you got to do better. Why are you laying people off? You need them. It's holiday time. And you know what? People are not doing as much Christmas shopping anyway, but the little bit that I'm doing for children, I need those packages for children. Okay, all right. This young man is so intelligent, and I love his commentary. Subscribe to Uniting Now, please. He's brilliant.
Pretty optimistic, but Trump could possibly be impeached, removed by Congress, and jailed by Georgia before Christmas of 2025. Hear me out on this scenario. So we know Chuck Schumer invoked a century-old law called the Rule of Five to force Trump to release the full Epstein files. If they were to get released and had Trump's name in them, 30 House GOP reps told us if the DOJ confirms their relationship, they will vote to impeach him. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If Trump does get impeached and removed from office, then he will be a private citizen again and could go to jail. One big case of his is still open, and that is the Georgia election racketeering prosecution, which we know he's clearly guilty of. Just as a reminder, this prosecution alleges that Trump led a criminal racketeering enterprise in which he and all other defendants knowingly and willfully joined in a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election. And this could certainly fall under Georgia's broad RICO law, meaning Donald Trump could end up in jail if all of this plays out. The best part is even jdvance can't save Trump in this scenario because the Georgia case is a state case. And Trump couldn't even seek a pardon from the state's GOP governor because Georgia is one of 4 states whose governor does not have the authority to grant clemency. Put this all together and Trump could possibly be boxed in from all sides, impeached, exposed by Georgia, and publicly humiliated by the Epstein files. This is pretty
optimistic. Yes, impeached, exposed by Georgia, and publicly humiliated by the Epstein files. That just sounds delicious. Fannie Willis, that's our girl here in Atlanta, Georgia. She really stuck it to Donnie Boy, and Donnie Boy can't stand when a black woman put him in his place with his smelly self. Give him a RICO, then that way we know he will go to prison. Yeah, get him up out of there, impeach him, and then slap a RICO on Donnie. Get his whole family the way Letitia James got him. They can't even start another charity in New York. Because you want to know why? They stole from their charity. Done it. Just like that fake university you had. Y'all, when I tell you that MAGA Savior is a fraud, whew. Donnie is a fraud. Don the con. So take a listen to this. This is very true. Listen up, kings and queens.
The people in the picture are the real reason why welfare was invented. The people in the picture are the real reason why welfare was invented.
Yep, welfare was created to help the wives, white wives at home while their husband was away in the military. That's why it was created. It wasn't created for black people. Probably just was really created for white people. They didn't even want black people near. So when y'all say ghetto, well, y'all are the original ghetto people. Right now, Donnie is #1 ghetto, a #1 stunner, #1 ghetto, trust me. So I'm going to give y'all a little history right quick, then we'll go back up there to that. Just a moment, please. I love you guys. Hit that like button for me, please. Come on. Show me some love. I work hard to come up with this commentary.
How about a pattern that's as old as America itself? Every time black people step into the game, they change rules. Let's take South Carolina. For over 100 years, white men could become lawyers without even taking the bar exam. All they needed was character, a note, and a nod from a judge. But the second black folks started pursuing law, all of a sudden, here comes the bar exam. Now, there had to be a standard, but that standard wasn't about fairness. It was about fear. And South Carolina wasn't the only place this happened. Look at literacy tests for voting. White immigrants coming through Ellis Island didn't have to pass a test to cast a ballot. But once black men gained the right to vote, the South invented poll taxes, literacy tests, and grandfather clauses. Obstacles created for the sole purpose of keeping us out of democracy. Look at college sports. For decades, black athletes were barred. Then when we broke through, when our excellence could no longer be denied, schools and leagues started shifting scholarship rules, eligibility rules, and even amateur status rules to limit our shine. Look at music and culture. Jazz, rock, and hip hop, black genius birthed these sounds. How often have we seen white mediocrity celebrated while black pioneers are sidelined or ignored? Elvis was crowned king while Sister Rosetta Tharpe was ignored. America is so sick of racism that white mediocrity gets celebrated while black excellence gets demonized, policed, and erased. And the playbook is always the same. We raise the bar, they change the bar. But here's what they can't stop. No matter how they shift the rules, we keep rewriting the game. Black excellence doesn't just break barriers, it builds whole new arenas. And that's the real threat. Not that we'll fail, but that will shine so bright that the world will finally see who's really been carrying the culture, the country, and the future all along. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs it.
Every now and then, I like to give us some good old black history, so don't get offended. It's good to learn about different things because I come here every day and talk about Caucasian Donald Trump and his administration. So I got to drop some black history in there somewhere. Don't get offended. I love y'all. One moment, please. Just a moment, everybody. Just a moment, baby. I lost my spot. I don't know if I played this or not. I may
Say
have.
something uncomfortable, and I don't care if it offends you because it's the truth. There is a massive chunk of this country that is functionally stupid, not just uneducated, not misinformed. I'm talking about people who lack the ability to process facts, apply logic, or think critically. I've stopped trying to win MAGA over, so if you're MAGA and you want to pick a fight with me, don't waste your time, because I won't waste mine. These aren't people you can debate. They don't respond to reason. They don't change because you gave them the data. They respond to emotion, to fear, to blame. And while liberals are writing think pieces and hosting panel talks, Trump and people like him are giving stupid people simple villains and easy answers. It's the immigrants, it's the gays, it's the black people. And that's all it takes. These people vote. They show up and they are dragging this country backward. Call it elitist if you want, but stupidity is a national security threat. Because when people can't process reality, they become tools for whoever feeds them the right lie. This isn't about winning hearts and minds anymore. It's about protecting truth, protecting democracy. And if we keep pretending they're just misinformed, we'll keep losing the people who aren't just wrong. They're incapable of knowing they're wrong. And they're steering this country straight into collapse. I can't stand stupid people. I'm going to say something uncomfortable.
I get it so much, baby. I can't stand stupid people never. Hello, King Josh. Hello, DP. How you doing? Hello, Energy Management. I can't stand stupid people neither. I can't. I love everybody in my chat, but MAGA are some of the dumbest people. One moment, please.
Major development. One of Trump's acting U.S. attorneys has just been disqualified from his position by a federal court, and this could be the first shoe to drop for Donald Trump's hand-picked appointees. This could very well be the first domino to fall that could ultimately void all of Trump's recent vindictive indictments against his political enemies. So here's the story. Federal Judge Michael Seabright in California just ruled that Bilal Asaili has been illegally serving as acting U.S. attorney for the Central District of California since July. The court found that Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi's order putting him in charge violated the Federal Vacancies Reform Act. Now, here is the nuance. The judge is not throwing out the indictments Asaili oversaw because those were actually signed by other lawfully appointed prosecutors. But here's why that's terrible news for Trump's other appointees. For example, his personal attorney turned prosecutor, Lindsey Halligan in Virginia. The case whether Lindsey Halligan was illegally appointed is now in federal court as well. But contrary to Asaili, Halligan was the only one to sign the James Comey and Letitia James indictments. So let's keep pulling this thread. If the other courts apply the same logic, those cases could collapse while the broader legality of Trump's appointment keeps unraveling. So Lindsey Halligan's days as U.S. attorney could very well be numbered, and it seems like the dam is about to burst. Spread the word and follow along for more. We've got a major development.
Please subscribe to Midas Touch Network on YouTube. They're on Instagram as well. Give them a follow. Great, amazing guys. Midas Touch Network, please.
34 count convicted felon that is in this White House, and we watch him every day. He's breaking law every day. So where's the lawsuit? So the Republicans in Congress are literally enabling him. When I say enabling him, they have the ability, by virtue of the power of the government that they in the majority control in Congress, to stop him and to hold him accountable, and they refuse. You've got every single Democrat on a bill right now that would hold this president accountable, but until we get to 218 people on that, and you need that's a majority, that means we just need 4 Republicans in this nation to follow suit with us Democrats. Right now, on that bill that would expose all of the Epstein files that this president is running away from and claiming that he never even had a relationship, or he tore off his relationship with this guy and he didn't really like him. But we believe that there's a smoking gun in those files. And the Republicans have refused to move those files into the open to hold this president accountable and really bring justice to those victims. This president has continued to demonstrate an unwillingness to follow the law. He is a 34 count convicted felon. And then it's one thing.
Yep, Donnie is a 34 count felon. But you know, MAGA tell me I'm lying about that too. They'll be in my chat saying, she lying. It gets so tiresome, y'all. I'm not just sleepy from the rain here in Atlanta. I get sleepy reading MAGA's comments. Whoa. Ooh, Herschel, how you doing today? Wilbur Howard, how you doing? Hello, King.
Hey, to my black folks, Latino folks, Hispanic folks, step back. White America is about to crash the fuck out. All right? I'm going to share something that's going to piss off white folks. And to be honest with you, I suggest you egg them on and agitate them. It's their fault. They need to be accountable. Check this out. If you can convince the lowest white man, classism, poor, he's better than the best colored man. He won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. That ideology was in 1963. How old do you think Donald Trump was during that time? Why do you think he's doing what he's doing to white America? He played y'all. See, it wasn't colored folks. It was the other colored folks. Basically, all you needed was someone to look down on. You know, illegal immigrants who have been here. Right? You're acting like this shit is brand new. They've been here. But because of your hate, racism, and bigotry, they're not doing it the right way. They're taking our jobs. As of today, none of you sun-dodging motherfuckers are picking avocados and strawberries and fruit. They're getting free health care all because you're uneducated. But should we be surprised? Because if you don't like these people, what's the incentive of educating yourself on them? If you don't give a fuck about nothing, you don't give a fuck about it. So right then and there, you have already established the someone you can look down on. And Donald Trump has successfully picked your pockets. Sure, it's going to affect a small group of people, but you're the fucking majority. You're the majority. So that means more of you people are going to be affected. Using an old ideology that Lyndon B. Johnson quoted in 1964, I do believe. Now look at you. You fucked your own selves. So with that being said, the moment you can't afford food and you can't afford health insurance, you're going to crash the fuck out. Respectfully so. Because niggas didn't do it. The Hispanic community didn't do it. Your own racism and bigotry did it. Off the simplistic ideology of Lyndon B. Johnson exposing who you white folks really are. Jesus Christ. Class dismissed. And be careful. White folks are about to lose their shit. Now,
To be honest, I want y'all to lose your shit. Y'all stormed on to the state capitol. What about the White House? Why you not losing your shit now? Your benefits getting cut off? It's really pissing me off because it's really hurting so many families. But our military work hard for us. This is effed up. My daughter's a military vet. This is effed up. And Donald Trump doesn't care. Mike Johnson doesn't care, baby. Fix it, Jesus. Throwback of Trump saying he is to blame. I'm going to play this again. I told you I may play it a couple times in my show.
You know, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. In my opinion, you know, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. In my opinion, you know.
New Epic Entertainment. Yeah, that's from 1997. But he said it. But now he's the president. He's going to blame the Democrats and has been. Him and Magic Mike been blaming the Dems. The Dems is the Dems that. Mike, stop it. Release some of your stress. Go on the Grindr app like you always do and get you some eggplant. You'll be a better boy. And maybe you just may release the Epstein list.
Over 50 years in elected public life, this is the worst I've seen it. It's time to get re-engaged. It's time to act. Fight like hell. There's no time to give up. It's time to get up. Get up now. Get up. Over 50 years in elected public life.
It's time to fight back, America. That's the point our President Joe Biden is trying to make. It's time to fight back. You can't be afraid. We got to take down this regime. Please. So President Joe Biden comes back swinging with urgent message. We must fight. This is no time to give up. Get up now. This is a powerful call to action. No, he's no longer in office, but I still call him president. He is my president. President Barack Obama is my president. I still call Bush president sometimes. I like Bush Jr. You better go watch that movie W. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people say I'm wrong for that. And yeah, they threw shoes at him and everything because he was an a-hole and he deserved it. But you can learn a lot from a dummy. I'll leave it as that. Go watch the movie W, okay? The ALC read Mr. Nasty Man down to hell. Trump, you're bye-bye. You can't breathe. Just lie there. No resuscitating him. Let the Lord take him to glory. We must dance on his grave. Uh-oh, music playing. Can't play music. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. I got to turn that music off. She laughing at Trump. Trump said he's going to take an IQ test against her. He really think the cognitive test is his IQ test, y'all. You got to laugh at a fool. So this is what it says. Democrat superstar Congresswoman AOC hilariously claps back at Donald Trump after he insulted her as low IQ and bragged about his dementia test. The AOC, oh boy, obliterates, excuse me, y'all, Donald Trump. Oh, she wants to challenge you and hold you to that, Donnie. What you gonna do, boy? While the Bronx Congresswoman out here writing policies and speaking truth, Trump's rambling like a cartoon villain with the mashed potatoes for brains. I'd say he got rocks for brains, but they said mashed potatoes for brains. That's even worse. Donnie, you will not be able to compete with her in an IQ test. Y'all, I don't know why MAGA worship this man. Well, they dumb too, so. Anyway, let's take a listen to this. One moment, please.
In droves. So you've heard the news, ICE agents are quitting in droves. This is a real thing. Homeland Security can't even hide it. And some ICE agents are only still working there until they get their student loans forgiven. On top of that, when you Google ICE facility attack Texas, you'll see there was an ambush made on ICE agents because people are not only at a threshold, they are past it. But back to Adam Boyd, citing ICE is only chasing deportation quotas. When did that become apparent to you, Adam? Was it when Kristi Noem set the quota at 3,000
Hey, Queen
deportations
Victorious
a day?
one.
Was it when ICE began pulling up to people while getting surgery to deport them? Was it when ICE began deporting people with no criminal record? Or was it when ICE began arresting people at their check-in for their green card? Officers and agents have spent much of the past 5 months clocking weekends and waking up at 4 a.m. for pre-dawn raids. Their top leaders have been ousted or demoted, and their supervisors themselves under threat of being fired or pressuring them to make more and more arrests to meet quotas set by Trump and advisor Stephen Miller. Sad day. But we may be entirely missing the point that their ICE agents' conditions were perceivably comfortable up until now, but once the public began calling them out as cowards with masks for fear they'd be doxxed and experienced a modicum of the treatment they doled out, now they're uncomfortable. Now they're uncomfortable. They were comfortable treating people like this. They were comfortable breaking up families. They were comfortable doing all the horrible things that they were doing up until now when they were pointed out for doing. Now we're finding out who's behind the masks of the ICE agents are just a bunch of county corrections. So you've heard the news, ICE agents are quitting in droves. This is a real thing.
And I just wish they all just go away. Why bully people and beating them up for no reason? Why? You get up on that MAGA? Trump is found to have paid for most of the January 6th protests. Jack Smith's new document drop shows that the Trump campaign paid for travel, hotels, expenses, organizing efforts to bring outside radical organizers to the state capitol on January 6th. Trump and his lackeys planned the assault on our capitol. And Jack Smith got something for your ass, Donnie. Yeah, boy. So, I feel it didn't get much media coverage that An appellate court upheld that Trump must pay E. Jean Carroll $83 million for defaming her after lying about actually assaulting her. This happened last month, and there was almost no media coverage. But we all know Danny Boy's a nasty boy. Okay, breaking. It says E. Jean Carroll publicly humiliates Donald Trump by revealing that his disgusting body odor and bizarre behavior mesmerized the jury during the trial that resulted in her getting the $83 million defamation win. Ha ha ha. You smell, Donnie. That's what E. Jean Carroll said, boy. Uh-huh. All right, all right, all right. So Florida is a part of the con. Hold on.
Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, and St. Lucie counties all experienced statistical patterns consistent with vote manipulation in the 2024 election. Palm Beach County, where Trump resided at the time, experienced this. This is just bombshell news, guys, coming from Election Truth Alliance. If you haven't gone to their site, go to electiontruthalliance.org. They need support, they need funding, because there's a lot of lawsuits that need to be filed to get to the bottom of what happened in 2024. And no, they have not stopped. They are continuing the fight, and they are finding all sorts of anomalous data in multiple states across the country, in states that were never expected to have any problems. Now, what do these three counties have in common? They have over 100% voter turnout. You know what that means? More people voted than were registered to vote. Miami-Dade Precinct 458 had 300 registered voters,